Hello and welcome back to our wonderful Byron series, and we're going to be taking Zionica in the first part of this episode because I have been bombarding the opponent with, well, trebuchets, trebuckets, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, let's not go there again. Yes, gonna get spammed with comments about that. Anyway, yes, we have a pretty wonderful situation here. Zionica had about 1,050 units in the garrison, and I have been bombarding them for a pretty significant amount of time with trebuchets, with onagers, with basically everything that I could really construct as fast as I could possibly construct it. And we haven't really lost that many units. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not actually in command of any army at the moment. I'm literally just by myself with my own forces. And that's all I've been really doing, because I felt like, well, if I'm gonna have a sally out or something like that, I'd much prefer to have a sally out where I'm in control of most of my own units in comparison to being in control of some of the enemy, or should we say some of the allied units, because they're going to be, should we say, not exactly powerful, not exactly that useful in those kinds of situations. So generally, I tend to prefer to use my own in those scenarios. So anyway, I'm going to be attempting to do as much damage as I possibly can. I hit that guy in the head, but it didn't kill him. Did you see that? That was crazy. Yeah, he obviously had a really, really good helmet or something like that. But yeah, anyway, we are in a pretty good spot here. Zionica is one of the last fiefs that we need to take to be able to consolidate that area that we have been attempting to take for a pretty significant amount of time, actually. And I'm very, very thankful that we were able to do that, because if I wasn't able to, then we would have some difficulties, you know? We would definitely have some difficulties. And yes, don't worry, the video is lagging not because of you or anything, and it's not really actually because of me either. It's just because I haven't updated my game in a while, and that is just purely for the fact that mods stopped working, and I didn't really want to have any kind of save game corruption problems as we go forward in the series, because we're pretty close to the end, actually. We're pretty close to the end, and I'd love to finish a series that has gone on for so long. You know, it would be really cool to actually finish one without having any save game problems, without having mod incompatibilities, and so on. So it would be really cool if we could see Byron through to the end. Let's see if I can maybe... Ah, really? I thought I parried that, but apparently not. You know how it is. All right, let's see if I can do some damage here. Nice. These guys aren't actually even wounded? I'm surprised. I actually thought that they would have been wounded at least a little bit. Take them down. Take these guys down as best I can. Let's see if I can maybe do some more damage here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Slicey, slicey. Okay, anyone coming? Oh, hello. Oh, no, I missed him by a slight margin. And I am the gatekeeper. You will cease your activity. Yes, and as I hit the wall multiple times. Yes, good idea. Good idea. There we are. Get him. Get him. Nice. Okay, there we are. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. I feel like the main time when I may suffer frame rate issues is when my army comes in and starts clashing with the opponent, because then every single model is constantly moving against each other, and it's causing so much friction that it would have probably caused a volcano to erupt somewhere on the planet. Yeah, if you know what I mean. It basically would generate so much heat from all the friction. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Anyway, the point is that that's probably the reason why I have some difficulties with the frame rate at the beginning there. But otherwise, it's pretty smooth and pretty nice. And we have now taken Zionica with a grand total of only 16. Only 16 deaths, and we gained 209 renown. Actually, pretty significant. I would have expected much less, actually, but apparently not. Apparently not. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now, you may notice that my food situation is dramatically different from how it was beforehand. I had about 33 days, and now I have 23 days. And I think that is primarily due to the the amount of time that it's taken me to bombard the opponent as much as I wanted to, and try and get the garrison numbers just that much less. And I thought that it would be pretty safe for me to actually do that, because the amount of people in this area are going to be pretty much negligible, because just look at how far away it is from the main area here. And look at this. We actually have Chai canned now. I believe we have Chai canned because we had a defector actually join us. I did not persuade anyone in my off-screen time at all. Not at all. And I have seen a couple of castles be taken. Varnova was taken. And that's pretty much it. I did not see Chai canned get taken by anyone because, of course, I have to, assign it to someone for that to be taken care of and everything. And I did not see anything like that. So, yeah, they must have done that somehow. But anyway, there you go. It was probably a defector or something along those lines. Okay, so we're going to go to the nearby villages. And there's Amprila. Amprila has just been taken as well. So let me see if I can... I'm going to give this to Regea, I think. It's pretty close by to her other fiefs, I believe. I think she also owns Lycaron or something like that. So it might be relatively close. Oh, so much grain. Give me that. Oh, yeah. 29,000 worth, in fact. Pretty cool. Okay, do we have any other grain around here? Any other grain villages? I think that's a grain one. Yeah, that is a grain one over there. We'll probably make a brief stopover over there before we head on into deeper Khuzait territory. We have basically over 3 million gold now, so if I do have any opportunity to persuade additional units, which in my opinion we don't really need. I mean, I think we're pretty good in terms of our strength at the moment. And I think a lot of people are going to think about defecting towards us now. So we kind of have a bit of a chill time. We don't really need to worry too much about vassals anymore. We can pretty much just kind of sit back and watch the steamroll commence. Because Monchuk himself has been defeated and captured, indeed, in my off-screen time as well, again, because, of course, we did capture him beforehand. I think someone actually mentioned and indeed asked a question about why I let Monchuk go. Well, the main reason why I let him go is because I'm not sure if any other faction is going to rise up, because generally that might happen. Sometimes that happens where a faction that you thought was relatively weakened, sometimes they can come back, and I didn't want that to happen, and then for the Khuzait to be on their last legs, and then maybe have Monchuk join us. Obviously, this is a very, shall we say, unlikely thing to happen, but look at this. The Wolfskins are joining the Botanians. We don't know whether the Botanians are going to come back into the game and be like, oh, okay, we're going to take this... we're going to take this fief from you or something like that, and then it's going to be huge drama, and it's not going to be very good for us. So I'm hoping that that will not happen. But otherwise, let's continue to level these guys up. And, well, we're pretty much ready, aren't we? We're pretty much ready to see a victory and the entirety of Calradia be taken by one of our characters, which is actually amazing, because the last time that I conquered the entirety of Calradia in Bannerlord was with Barney. Of course, you know that, was with the original series, and technically I did do it. It's just unfortunate that there were a bunch of bugs at the time that prevented me from fully executing every single lord, but I did manage to pull it off. I did manage to pull off the almost impossible feat of basically getting every single lord and executing them, and it was all from basically nothingness. We basically had a situation where we were a part of the Vlandians, and the Vlandians had control of basically the entirety of the map, with the exception of one fief that was indeed Praven, hilariously enough, and Derthart, who is, of course, the leader of the Vlandians, he refused to give us any fief whatsoever. I asked him for fiefs, I spent my influence, I said, hey, would you mind giving me one? And every single time I took a fief, he refused every single time. And I took like, I don't know, 7, 8 fiefs in our war against the, I think it was the Southern Empire. Yeah, in our war against the Southern Empire, because the Vlandians eventually took over the entirety of the map. However, the Southern Empire was, of course, still around at that point, so we kind of had to be a little bit, bit of a juggler, I guess you could say. So we had to juggle various things, mostly heads, mostly heads rolling all over the place. Considering Barney's executioner's axe was very, very bloodied indeed. But anyway, the point is that they really made things very difficult for us, and so we had to literally fight from one fief and spread outward and try to capture as many vassals as we could get our hands on, and then execute them, of course. So it was a really, really big deal for us to be able to do that. And then in the end, when I possibly had the opportunity... Oh, I don't even know why I'm building trebuchets right here, to be honest. But I'm going to build them anyway, because I'm going to just finish my story. Anyway, the point is that eventually we had the opportunity to capture the last, I think it was the last 4 vassals in the game. Like, literally, I had executed every single vassal in the game, with the exception of these 4. And unfortunately, these 4 were bugged in some way. There were 2 that were stuck in some weird location that I could not possibly get to for some reason. Not entirely sure why that is. And the other 2, whenever I would take them prisoner and then attempt to execute them, they would literally crash the game. They would literally crash the game. And that's not anything to do with what I was doing or anything like that. I, of course, was able to execute numerous amounts of people before that, but it had something to do with the interaction between a new clan being created, because, of course, these were... you know, children probably of the previous vassals that had grown up, and they had created their own clan or something along those lines. It was basically like that. And obviously at that point it was pretty much impossible for us to continue, because of course every single time I would try to execute them, it would not work, it would crash the game. And so I decided to, you know, finish the series on that, which is unfortunate, really. I think they did fix the bug later on, but at that point I had already moved on to quite a few other series. So, yeah, kind of unfortunate. But that means, you know what that means? That means that Byron and Byron's series here is pretty much the quintessential completion of the game, and I feel like we've done a really, really good job in basically capturing everything. And again, we also had some fallbacks. You know, we had some drawbacks many times. Byron was, when he initially created his faction, which was way back in, I think it was like episode 18 or episode 19 or something like that, he created his own faction. And it was really crazy. Oh, I thought I was actually going to jump straight on into the wall there. That would have been fun. Anyway, yeah. So episode 18, 19 or something, and it was just crazy. The amounts of Southern Empire vassals, because of course we were against the Southern Empire again, because we had a grudge against them from Barney's series, but they would just continue coming out of the woodwork again and again and again. It would actually prevent us from doing, well, pretty much anything, any kind of meaningful progress. But thankfully at that time I had such an amazing amount of horse archers that I was pretty easily capable of defeating most enemies that were coming at us. We had some very close calls, though. If you haven't seen the entirety of Byron's Rise to Power, I would highly recommend checking it out, at least the early episodes, you know, maybe like up to episode 20 or something like that. Highly recommend checking that out if you haven't seen it, because it's pretty dramatic, you know, it's pretty dramatic. And I'm not wanting to toot my own horn here, but Byron has done a very good job at, well, conquering things. And I initially thought that he wasn't going to be able to do it. I really didn't. I really didn't think he would be able to get anywhere, to be fair, because he had a lot of difficulties learning how to shoot on the back of his horse. He had a lot of difficulties being able to use a pole arm. You know, generally he had a lot of problems in. Well, I say, but I mean me, obviously. You know that. But anyway, you know, he had difficulties getting all of this working, and obviously winning tournaments as well. Winning tournaments early on was very difficult for him, especially in Khuzait territory, because the Khuzait generally will use spears in their tournaments, and spears for me were really, really hard to use. I'm much better at using them now, of course, but back then, no. Very, very difficult for me to learn that. Anyway, let's have a look here. What else do we have going on? Okay, so we just took Urzina Castle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's going to be taken in a second. So 4 castles still remaining that the Khuzait own. And I could probably take them pretty easily, don't you think? I think I might be able to take... Oh, no, maybe not. As you can see, Hakun Castle has over 1,000 units in there, which is pretty significant. All right. Well, I guess what I'm going to do is I will literally just go and take this. I'm just going to take this town straight up, and we'll see what happens. So the bombardment begin. Oh, dear. Well, never mind. Okay, so apparently my bombardment beginning was very short-lived because one of my fire onagers, actually 2 of my fire onagers have already been eliminated. The trials and tribulations, really, of you know, getting siege equipment up and running, especially this one. This one's gonna look at this. It's at 1%, 1% HP right now. Pretty crazy. All right, so here we go. We've got about 500 units remaining, and I've literally just been sitting here, just bombarding the opponent with my trebuchets as much as I possibly can to try and reduce their garrison strength. And that, in my opinion, is... I wouldn't say that it's probably the most effective, but I would say that if you have a relatively strong army that cannot really be retaliated against, so in other words, if you do have a pretty large army with you and you haven't really called anyone either, because if you haven't called any of your friends to join you or anything like that, then I think that in most cases you can probably do quite well by yourself if you have about... I mean, it really depends on the garrison size, of course. But I would definitely say that doing the whole bombardment thing is actually pretty effective if you can kind of... Well... if you can make sure that you can't get a sally out. So, for example, if the enemy is... somewhat large. Let's say there's a garrison of, like, I don't even know, like 2,000, you know, so let's say there's a garrison of 2,000 and then a massive army from the enemy comes out of nowhere and is like, okay, it's time for us to fight on the fields of battle because we're going to rally the garrison into a sally out. And that has happened to me many times before, actually, and definitely something you want to try and avoid, unless you have a very strong army on the fields of battle, like, you know, horse archers or something like that, in which case you should be able to achieve a somewhat good victory. It might result in more units being lost, however, which is obviously a bit of a problem. But in general, I would say a really good strategy is if you, as I say, have control of the area and you have control of the situation, it is okay if you have good amounts of food as well, to literally just sit there with your siege engines and try to bombard enemies as much as you possibly can. So just generally having the pole arms, doing the damages. I realized I just said pole arms. No, I didn't mean that. I meant trebuchets, doing the damage and taking out the enemy's catapults. Because if you can take out their catapults over and over and over again, they're going to lose between 2 and 4 units every single time a catapult is destroyed. Also, if they don't have any food in their particular town or castle or something like that, they're also, I've noticed that they're also going to maybe take some starvation damage. Although this is a little bit conjecture on my side, because I have seen a big chunk of the enemy's forces be either killed or wounded. I don't know either way. But basically what I saw was a number of times a handful of units just be taken out without me actually destroying any of their catapults. So I would assume that that has something to do with the starvation mechanic of some kind. So there must be a starvation mechanic, but it might very well be a very minor one, so it doesn't really happen that often. So that is something to bear in mind at least. So there you go. We've taken Akalat, which is one of their last towns, and we're going to have a look at what we're currently dealing with here. Okay, so we have, hello. There is a massive amount of people in here, and look at this. We have an army trying to take it, and you can see here that literally we have taken everything else with the exception of this one town and Baltakand. And that's it. That's it, friends. That is it. Look at that. That is the entirety of the map. I've got to say, I'm actually quite proud of how Byron has done this. We're going to go over here and actually help him out. Oh, no, come on. Where are you going? Where are you going, sir? Okay, well, I'm actually just going to attack this guy then. I don't know why he's leaving. I really don't know why he's leaving. I'm just going to auto-resolve this fight because Hurunag is not exactly a major, at least in my opinion, not really a major player here at the moment. And technically I could take these guys prisoner, but I kind of feel like we should continue the, the good guy Byron kind of thing, because we did try to do that initially, and it did do all right, I guess you could say. I think it did okay initially, but of course we couldn't keep it up for an extended period of time, because if we did that, we were going to suffer greatly at the hands of the Southern Empire, because initially I thought to myself, yeah, I'm just going to let everyone go, try and charm everyone, and make it so that they didn't hate us dramatically, because it was obviously a polar opposite to how Barney was in his series, because his series, everyone hated him, everyone hated him. So I wanted to try and change that with Byron. And for the most part, it worked quite nicely. We have, I'm actually just going to take a quick look here. We have super, super large amounts of friends. I am now 99. Look at that. Byron is 99 years old now. And look at this. We only have these as enemies, which is not really even a big deal. I feel like that's a very small amount of enemies for so many friends. Just look at how many friends we have. It's pretty crazy. So that's quite nice. But, well, as I said, I was wanting to try and keep up that philosophy as much as we possibly could, even though it, it would probably be more effective to take them prisoner, as we saw when we were up against the Southern Empire. Oh, look at that. Baltakand is actually getting taken now, so it might very well be the case that I don't even need to do anything. So we'll see what happens. I'm actually going to go in here and buy some sheep. Oh, never mind. Not going to buy any sheep, apparently, because that has just been looted. What about this one? Yes, I can actually go here. All right, so I will be taking absolutely everything that they own. Not forcefully, that is. I will be paying them for all of what they own. And let's see what else we can do here. I'd like to get some more food if at all possible, because you never know when you're going to need... we need to like make an army, and you're going to need some food to be able to do that. Oh, look, hello. Okay, he's got a... Wow, yeah, he's fine. I think he's probably going to take it by the time I even get there, to be honest. Let's have a look. Yep, almost. Should we help him out? Let's help him out, shall we? Let's just help him. Boom, yeah, auto-resolve. Should be super, super easy for us to be able to do that. And we will help him to lose even less units than he otherwise would have. And there you go. That is fantastic. Taking that too. And we have some people that we can, of course, release if we want to. And I think that's it. There's only one fief remaining. And I got to say, I'm actually really proud of Byron. I know I've said that already, but I'm actually really proud of him for getting to this point. Because, as I say, I thought initially we were going to have some major problems here. And the owner of Balticand is going to be this guy. He only owns one fief? Oh, well, why is Garrios continually on this menu? Every single time I go to this menu, Garrios is there. And I'm thinking to myself, what? Why is he here? I've given him so many things. It's super, super strange. Oh, well, never mind, never mind. Okay, so now let us make our way back to the last remaining town. And it seems like we are actually attempting to take this. Ooh, the AI's being really smart. Look at this. They have 4 trebuchets they had before one of them was destroyed. Very cool to see that, actually. And we'll see if I can maybe get over here in just a second and see what's happening. What? Did they leave? Oh, they left. Are you serious? They actually left? Okay. Guys, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go here, and we're going to force every army to disband, okay? We're going to force every army to disband, and I am literally going to get every single unit in the world to come over here and join me. Now, bear in mind that the more people that I get, the faster our cohesion is going to go down, and the faster our food is also going to go down, which is a problem. That's why I'm only going to be summoning people around 1 day distance away from us. There you go. We're going to do something like that. We have 7,000 people in our army right here. 7,000. I could get more. I could actually get more if I wanted to. You know, just that's the kind of strength that we have at the moment. And speaking of strength, let's take a look. We have 62,000 combat strength. That, I think, isn't that even more than what Pelisor had in his trade empire? Because in that series, we absolutely massacred with trade skill. It was absolutely fantastic. Really, really fun as well. Okay, so everyone's going to be coming to join me. What? What? Why is this guy trying to do this? Why is he trying to do this? Get out of here. Get out of here, Fenton. You know, I actually probably could have persuaded him to join us, but I don't think he's the leader. I don't think he's the leader of his own clan. If he is, then, well, that's obviously a bit of a shame, but not really too bad for me. And we're going to be besieging the town. And look at this. They actually did some damage to the walls, which is pretty nice to see. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, I could literally just go in here with auto-resolve. I could literally just go... Look at this. Look at the combat strength. It is diminished... Oh, wow. It has diminished so incredibly dramatically. It's literally going to be a sliver by the time I have over 6,000 units in here. Look at the cohesion, though. The cohesion is just literally dying really, really fast. Wow. And look, do you see how fast the trebuchets go up? Do they go? Do they get contributions from the other people in the army? I think they might. I think they might. Oh, and the game has now crashed. The game has now crashed. Congratulations. We have successfully crashed the game. When we have not ever had a crash in the last, 20 or so episodes. So that is a pretty big deal. Good work, Bannerlord. Yes, we'll be back in a second. Alright, so we're back, and I think you can probably tell from the date that there's some weird stuff, or there was some weird stuff going on. We've been rolled back a couple of days. Balticand is not any longer ours, because of course it wasn't taken within this time, because I had an auto-resolve. No, I had an auto-save available. And that put me back quite significantly. So I'm just going to basically do the same thing again, and hopefully we will not have a crash once more. But there you go, Balticand has been taken. I didn't go over there this time to help out with it because, well, let's face it, the guy was going to be able to take it without my assistance anyway, so not really that big a deal. Anyway, I have 30 days worth of food. I should be able to do something here. This guy is now going to, yep, as you can see, he's now going to disband his army. And I think we're also going to be disbanding this one too. Do we want to do that, actually? Yeah, we're going to disband every army here, and we are just going to ask every one of these guys to join me. And we're going to go a little bit less strong this time around. Is this okay? Yeah. I think that one is okay. I think as long as it doesn't go further than the end of the line here, it should be fine. It should be okay. Okay, we're losing units massively due to starvation. Yeah, due to starvation. So we're just going to go in for the auto-resolve here before the game crashes again, because it might very well crash just due to some kind of interaction between these two situations. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But as you can see, it's working pretty nicely so far. Let's skip to the end, and boom. There you go. We took it. And that is indeed a victory. A complete and total domination over Calradia. And, well, I am very pleased, I gotta say. Very pleased that we were able to actually complete a playthrough here. Because, as I say, I really don't like, you know, ending series prematurely. I really don't. I don't like that, you know. And if it is due to some kind of technological problem, then obviously it's out of my control, with the exception of me attempting to fix it for many hours, days, you know. But yeah, it's really cool when things are actually able to go well for us for once. So I'm pretty happy with this. And let's see. Wow, there are so many. Why are there so many vassals here? So many vassals. But there you go. There you go. Okay, so 500 units that I can potentially take prisoner. That is kind of insane. Don't think I have enough space. Nope. Definitely don't have enough space to be able to take all those guys, but most of my guys are literally just wounded, so it is really not that big a deal. And I am actually going to be now disbanding the army completely, and they can go wherever they want to go, which is exactly what they should do. And we're done. That's it. I'm actually really, really pleased. And we're going to see how it goes. Kaoses escaping from captivity. Vlandians escaping from captivity. I'm actually wondering what is going to happen now. Because apart from this, apparently Garrisons is just wanting to get everything that he possibly can, which is kind of hilarious. But there you go. That is it. And if I now zoom out, that is it. We have taken every single fief that there is on the map. And let me actually just take a quick look over the Kaoses territory, because I might be missing a castle. But that doesn't seem to be the case. There are a bunch of hideouts, of course, that we have not eliminated. But yeah, no, that's just how, you know, it's just how it is. They're going to continue spawning again and again, so it doesn't really make any sense for me to hunt those down. But that's it. Yep. That is indeed it. And there is nothing else to be done except say thank you very much for joining me on this journey. And I hope you very much enjoyed the adventures of Byron. And I'm sure he will be joining us for a future series. Oh yeah, there's actually something I need to do. Ah, look at that. He almost made it to 100. And we are going to be doing something here. We are going to be calling ourselves the Kurgit Khanate. Boom. There we go. So we are now the Kurgit Khanate, and in the future, no doubt, the first Barney will be beginning his journey into Mount and Blade Warband for the first time, and he will grow to absolutely loathe horse archers. And that is all she wrote. I thank you very, very much for joining me on this journey. And hopefully you'll stay tuned for a potential new series. I don't know. Maybe there will be another one, or maybe not. It really depends. Actually, let me know if you stuck around till the end. Let me know what you'd like to see. And otherwise, I will see you next time.